Welcome to Outback Outdoors. Make sure you like, subscribe, and click the alert to stay up to date on all our new videos. With my Colorado once-in-a-lifetime moose in the books, I realized that I'd scheduled a few more return trips if I hadn't killed a moose the first week, and that opened up the possibility to maybe do some elk hunting. So I called Kyle Michael and I said, hey, I think we could do that last week of Colorado elk season. What do you think? What do you want to do? Where should we go? I had a Wyoming tag, elk tag, and I also have a over-the-counter Colorado tag. And so we started putting our heads together. Colorado in the high country. There's no better place to be. So if we can get it set up on that wall, Lord, give us guidance.
So right now, 12 Mile is hotter than crap. There is elk all over the top of 12 Mile, but they're high and they're in the aspens. And those elk at night are coming out of there and they're dropping across and they're dropping into 13, and there's wallows all the way down 13. And so and there's a top wallow and a bottom wallow, and then one in the middle are the three biggest ones. Yesterday, the middle one was hotter than heck. So the three wallows that are there, there's three major wallows on that thing, and you can't go wrong right either. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is take you right down here in the bottom and we'll park.
It is the last week of elk season here in Colorado, and I am following my buddy Q, QRS Outdoors. He has a new little piece of property that he picked up that we are going to go and hunt some elk, and they're seeing a ton of bears, so I picked up the bear tag. And I love going into new country. There's something about the challenge of trying to figure out new ground. And so he's had a chance to spend a little time in there. The bulls are starting to really bugle good. So I'm excited. We've got this afternoon, and then we've got five more days to try and get it figured out and see if we can't call in a love sick bull. And then
the next one is about the end of the green hill.
Yeah, and then
the last one is down just before the road.
So is that the lowest one? You're calling the furthest one lowest, and this is
the highest.
So which one should we put blinds on both of them for right now?
I'd put blinds on both of them. To you right there.
Yeah. Let's take a look at it. We met up with Q and Jordy, and he took us in. He said, you're going to go down this road. There's going to be 3 wallows. I'd say that. That's where I would be. All right, let's go get that. Set a blind up at the top one and the bottom one. I'm like, perfect. And he said, the elk have been hitting these wallows anywhere from, I think he said like 11 in the morning to like 3 in the afternoon. But it's been a lot hotter than
what it had been.
Yeah. So we did. We went in there, set those up, and we sat one of the wallows.
That
afternoon, just because it was so hot. And then as the evening wore on, we were just listening for bugles because we figured we'll sit in here, one will hammer off, and we'll go take the fight to them.
Right.
We'll let the thermals change, and then we'll go and hunt them. They should be running in any moment now. Just as daylight's breaking, we're walking. We're walking up this trail, this long draw, and it's got this gorgeous little right-hand turn into this beautiful aspen basin. Looks elky.
It looks elky, very elky.
And we get in there, and I think I cow called a couple times, didn't hear a lot, and then as we get in there, a bull bugles. And he is around at the end of that big long draw and up in that aspen basin. It was great for us because we're like, we heard a bugle finally, right?
Yes.
And so we end up coming around, and he bugles again. What I made a mistake on is, like I'd never hunted freaking elk before, I didn't take into account that he was coming. He came and he stopped at 70 yards. I tried to get up even elevation-wise with him. So we kind of set up, I didn't get my Montana decoy out, which I have that backcountry elk, which is the elk rump. My plan was, since I was calling for myself and we didn't have a caller to go back, my plan was to put that in the ground 30, 40 yards behind us. Call kind of over my shoulder, so if he did need a visual or whatever, he'd have a visual on that. Let's get up here so we can get some height, so I can glass some of that. We had him at like 70 yards. I thought he was going to drop in this bottom and come on around, but he just never saw anything. If I would have had that up, if I would have had that decoy up, when we got, he just was coming so quick. Oh well, okay. So here we are, afternoon. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to go down, get on that ridge in between where we have the wallows set, that ridge. There's a bunch of different drainages that run parallel. So we're kind of jumping back and forth between these drainages. And we got above where we thought we needed to be. Thermals are still rising. Everything seems okay. And we look across, there's some deer, and then all of a sudden we see a spike. So we start working down through there before thermals changed. It's silent. Not a cow call, not a bugle, nothing. So we did a lot of crawling over deadfalls, worked our way through that aspen patch, or that aspen basin, and back out to the trail and walk that out. So this morning, we get up, we get out there. It is the coolest, 40 degrees, probably a 8-mile-per-hour wind. And we're walking in, and I thought, well, I should call. No, let's just get in here. I'm realizing the thermals, the sun is rising. We've got to get some height. I don't think we got halfway up that left side of the ridge. And we start looking around, and a bull bugles. We're watching this elk, we're listening to this bull bugle. He bugled a couple times, and then another bull bugles. We looked at each other and said, there's 2 bulls. And then that one bull started moving away, and then we heard cows. The whole time, I think the temperature of the dominant bull is just getting higher and higher. And he comes to a point where he's about had enough. We look over, and here he comes out of the aspen. And I knew at that point that his excitement level was so high that if we busted butt, got down into that bottom between him and his cows and acted like another bull just showed up, that we were going to get some type of reaction. And he screamed back and wheeled, and he's coming.
He was about, I assume, 20 yards closer, so I did some math real quick.
What can be said of a hunt like this that came together so fast just because we had extra time? And then here we are, laying hands on an incredible elk. A gift really from God, in my opinion. And the sustenance that will go in my freezer. The memories that'll last a lifetime. and the thrill of the adventure. Thanks for watching Outback Outdoors. We encourage you to comment below, and as always, like, subscribe, and click the alert to stay up to date on all our new videos.